Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite Season X tips and tricks video. In tonight's video, we are going to be talking about the best settings, sensitivity, custom binds, and everything you need to know for Fortnite Season X in this video. If you could drop a like on this thing, that would be absolutely amazing. I uploaded a video earlier today talking about how to rank up fast. People are loving that video and supporting it, so thank you so much. If you guys could also support this video, smack that like. Let's go ahead and go for 420 likes. That would be awesome if you could hit that. Smack that like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. Now, why settings and sensitivities, the best option available, doesn't always change at the start of a new season or at the end of a new season or at the end of an old season. A lot of stuff in this game, especially with the new patch going in, patch 10.0 essentially, they added mechs, they vaulted a bunch of stuff, and the game is shifted as it does at the start of every single season. There is less mobility now, which means shooting people out of the sky is going to happen less often, so that's not something you need to have priority on. There's going to be more diverse weapon fights, especially over the last couple of weeks, even into Season 9, just the amount of shotguns and stuff they've added. They added mechs now, and I also think that this season really focuses on, you know, pretty much most people can build now, but if you can edit effectively and efficiently and have not a controller hold edit time and be able to take advantage of enemies like that, I think that is a key to get the upper hand on so many people. We're going to talk about that in this video. So let's get right into it and go through these settings. First of all, motion blur off. Why play with motion blur? That's sort of my thought on it, so I have that off. Matchmaking, you want to have your matchmaking region set to auto. That will give you the best ping. It'll connect you automatically to the one where you're going to have the lowest ping. Obviously, if you duo with buddies, and this is something that people do know, but some people don't. Like if I'm playing, whoever's the host of the party, right? Whatever their setting is going to be. So if I want to play with someone from England and I'm from the west coast of Canada, it's probably not going to be really good connection. If they host, they're going to get really good connection. I'm going to get kind of crapped on. If I host, I'm going to get really good connection. They're going to get kind of crapped on. So that's how that works. Sensitivity, X and Y controller sensitivities. I run with a 0.600 or a 6 out of 10. I've stuck with this for quite some time. I did experiment with going up to 7 and things like that. But this sensitivity, especially now with all the different options, this is basically your sensitivity for when you are just maneuvering around, not aimed down sight. You're regular, just running around, looking around. X and Y, of course, horizontal and vertical. And I keep them both at 0.6. There are some people that switch up those two. Maybe they want to be able to swipe a little more, so they have their horizontal a little bit quicker. In my personal opinion, you can do that, but I like to have them just the same, and that's my personal preference. Target sensitivity. What the target sensitivity is it's a slow down when aimed down sight. So when you're aiming down sights with anything, like an assault rifle, of course, you want to have it slow down, but not too slow to track players. Same with when you're aiming down sights with a pump shotgun or stuff like that, even though that's more of a quick scope method. I use a 0.43 on the target sensitivity and haven't touched that in probably quite some time. Scope sensitivity, this one I have a little bit quicker just because I'm someone that likes to use the, honestly, the heavy sniper is the one I use the most. Other snipers I don't use too much, but I like to sort of hit the drag scopes with it, and that's why I run with a 0.650. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Build settings, and what's your build sensitivity going to be? Now mine is a 1.9, and your build sensitivity builds off of your X and Y. So I have a 1.9 on my 0.6. If your X and Y are even slower, you'd probably want to max that build up to 2.0. If your X and Y sensitivity is already 9 or 10, then maybe you don't want to run a 1.9 build sensitivity. So it multiplies or builds off of that. So because of my X and Y being sort of middle of the pack, 6 out of 10, I go pretty high up with the build, 1.9, almost maxed out. And that is, of course, because with building, you don't have to be as precise. Of course, if you're trying to place cones and stuff like that, you do have to be precise to a certain extent, definitely, but it's not like trying to hit a shotgun shot with a pump shotgun. You don't have to be that exact precise, but you have to be quick. You have to be super duper quick and fast on your feet and a fast thinker. And that's why I'm build sensitivity, I go with the 1.9. Edit sensitivity. Now, this is what I think is so important. Season X, Season 10. This is what can really elevate your game. I talked about before, like, you know, the game evolves and the evolution of the game. People can build now. I mean, the settings, it's pretty easy to build, but still a lot of players are using either an edit sensitivity that's slow, a hold to edit time, or they don't even edit at all, or they only know certain edits. My edit sensitivity, I use a 1.650. And this is kind of just like the build sensitivity. I think these two are very, very important to focus on this season. With my edit sense being 1.650, that's something that you can work on constantly, just increasing as long as you can handle it. And that's really just, there's no exact best setting with the edit sensitivity. You want it to make it as fast as you can with being precise and not missing out on your edits. And this just takes a lot of trial and error, sort of going up and down and maneuvering with it on creative to be able to find your exact best edit sensitivity. Now let's go through some of the general settings. I'll throw the pictures up on the screen, but I'll just talk about a few that I think are important. Spectator count, I put that off. I see a lot of people when I'm watching them or playing with friends, they're always, oh, one person spectating me, 2 people spectating. Some people tend to get like nervous or concerned with that. Me personally, I don't really give a damn about how many people are spectating me in the game that I killed already. You know, those gunfights are done. I already won those gunfights. I'm just going to keep it moving. I just turn that off. I don't really focus on it, and I'm able to just play my game and not worry about trying to dance and put on a show for the last Timmy that I just killed. I'm worried about moving forward and playing and winning the game. Vibration, off. Vibration you want to have off. Trust me on this. I know a lot of people are still probably using vibration. I went through this probably in like 2012, maybe even somewhere around there. I used vibration and I loved it and I stuck with it. People told me to stop using it, and this was on Call of Duty. And I was like, nah, you know, it feels good when I'm shooting it. It lets me know, it makes me feel in the game. But eventually I switched and I was like, wow, this is a whole nother world. And I've never gone back to vibration since then. Auto sprint I have on. That is because I'm able to clear up the bind of pushing down on the sprint button for my edit button, which I'll talk about in a second. But basically auto sprint, it just makes it so I have to push forward on my left stick instead of push down, which is awesome. Sprint cancels reload. You definitely want that off. You want to be able to sprint and reload. Sometimes you're running out of the storm, reloading your guns, or you know, trying to maneuver around a gunfight like that. Hold to swap weapons. Definitely want this one on. This is one that I see not everyone taking advantage of yet, even though it's been out for maybe a couple months. Hold to swap weapons is amazing. No matter where you are in your inventory, if you only have one shotgun in that second slot, instead of just pressing, for me it would be square to pick it up, if you hold it and the weapon that you're holding in your hands, it will just automatically swap those right into the slot. Auto sort consumables to the right, you want that on. Controller edit hold time, you want to have that as low as possible without messing up your build if you are using it on the same button. But in my best advice, I think as far as Season 10, I switched this a little while ago, and I was hesitant. I stuck with a hold edit time for a while. Trust me, you want to make this change. I wasn't even stubborn. I didn't put the time in creative, and I thought it would take me days and weeks to adjust. It didn't. I switched, and from going, this was a while ago, but now, using custom binds and editing on a separate button from what will pull up my builds, so I don't have a controller edit hold time. It's absolutely instant. It makes a world of difference, and it honestly only takes for me, it only took like a couple hours, maybe even less, like an hour in creative, and I was kind of used to it. I thought it would take days or weeks, so I definitely recommend that. Of course, everyone's learning curve might be a little bit different, but that's what I rock for controller edit hold time. I don't use that because I have an instant edit now. Aim assist, you always want to have that on. Edit aim assist, for your edit mode aim assist, that just depends on personal preference. Edit mode aim assist will pull you into certain things when you're editing, and it honestly depends on preference. Some people love it. Other people, hate it. I mean, whatever works best for you. You can test them out both in creative. Now, when it comes to the custom binds, what do I use? I build off of Builder Pro. I think Builder Pro is pretty much the starter base that you want to use, and then, of course, customize your binds a little bit based on what you want to do with it. So, like I said, I run with the left stick to edit, and then I use my circle button to switch mode, or basically pull out my builds, which is the same as switch modes. However, I don't use a regular DualShock PS4 controller. I use a SCUF 4PS controller. By the way, use code GOBLIN for a discount on SCUF controllers. Link in the description. Anyone that plays PS4 controllers are absolutely amazing. It has the paddles on the back, completely tournament legal. Tons of pro players use them. So I'm able to use that left stick to commence my edits, and then have that, or the left stick on the front to commence my edits, and then have the right paddle on the back of my SCUF used to pull out my builds, and essentially the same as my circle build. And I also use that to confirm my edit. So I'm starting the edit with my left stick, and then I'm confirming it with my back right paddle. Now I realize not everyone has a SCUF controller, so if you don't, you would probably not want to use exactly what I'm doing here. You probably want to maybe confirm the edit with the same button, possibly that left stick, or possibly something else, but that's just the way that I do it there. So I don't have anything being a conflict of interest here. Another thing that's interesting is I see a lot of people messing up by rotating their builds. You know that move where it will rotate your ramps? Let's be honest, most people don't use that in-game. I don't use it. Most people don't. It's practically only like, I see like European pro players using it. I don't know. I'm sure more people use it, but not that many people. I find that it messes up your, average to good players quite often. So if you find that being a problem, definitely switch that bind out. And you don't really need to rotate your, obviously, walls, your flats, or your pyramids, and your stairs rotating down. I mean, I just like to slide down, ladder down, waterfall, whatever you call it, and catch myself. So that's what we have as far as the settings. Things that I think are so important to focus on this season is making sure that when you come down to those first couple settings, it's all about aim. That's all you need to focus on. When you're talking X and Y, ADS, scope, we're only talking about aim. And then when we're talking about build, edit, all that stuff, we're only talking about the separate when you don't have your gun out. So I think it's very important when you think about settings to separate the two. And a lot of people, you need to see what's going wrong. Is your aim absolute garbage? Then you probably want to lower your sensitivity. Or are you just not putting the time to build, or your build stuff is too slow? You need to sort of analyze your gameplay and figure out what is working, what isn't working, and how to adjust and build off of that. So those are the settings. I don't change my settings too often, but I do like to update you guys and talk about what I think is important. And of course, there's no exact best settings, but you have to go by yourself and build off of stuff that I'm talking about here, test out in creative, and put in that time. Things to focus on this season: getting that build sensitivity up, getting that edit speed up as well, and making sure you have no timer on the edit. So it's just quick boom is so important this season, and things that I think these settings could definitely help some people with that. Once again, like I said, for my custom binds, I run it with a scuff controller. If you're not using that, there's other ways to do it. I see a lot of people like to play claw with like the touchpad to edit, but I still think the left stick is the way to go, just for confirming the edit. I don't know. Let me know what you guys use down in the comment section down below. If you do not have a scuff, or if you do have a scuff, let me know your binds and your custom binds for how you do the edits. That's how I do it. There's a bunch of different options on that, but making sure that you have it so there's no hold time. It will put you in a different world if you are a fast player, and it will make a world of difference. Thanks for watching. Drop a like, subscribe. I'll catch y'all all in the next one, and that's about it. Peace out.